On the buck stops here, we're turning our focus now to Tamil Nadu, where the Assembly has passed a unanimous resolution asking for the complete boycott of the Commonwealth meet that is to be held in Sri Lanka in November, that's next month. And Jayalalitha, supported by parties across divisions and ideologies, is now saying that the Prime Minister must not attend this meet and he must push for the suspension of Sri Lanka from the Commonwealth. So as the Tamil Nadu Assembly unanimously passes a resolution asking for a complete boycott of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Sri Lanka to be held next month, a proposal it seems that the government may actually consider, because there has been no clear response from the UPA and the Prime Minister yet on whether the Prime Minister will attend the Chogam meet or not. The question on the buck stops here this evening is this: should the sentiments of one state guide a country's foreign policy? What kind of precedent could that set for other situations and other states? Let's take you now to the political punch on the program this evening. Introducing our panel now. Joining us from Delhi today is Dr. Subramaniam Swamy. He is, of course, a senior leader of the BJP. Joining us also from Delhi is D. Raja. He is a senior leader of the CPI. And joining us from Chennai tonight is Professor Nandita Krishna, a well-known historian. Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, let me start with you. You are somebody who has always maintained that in a sense, the atrocities by the LTTE need to be highlighted as much as the need for reconciliation within Sri Lanka. But do you see yourself now as a lone voice from Tamil Nadu, given the nature of the unanimous resolution passed in the Assembly today? This is now cutting across parties. It's cutting across, politicians who have many other differences otherwise. Do you believe there's half a chance that the government may actually listen to the Tamil Nadu Assembly resolution passed today?
Well, the Tamil Nadu Assembly also passed a resolution that those who have been sentenced to death by the Supreme Court for the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi, they should be forgiven, keeping Tamil sentiments in view. I mean, the Constitution is very clear. It has 3 schedules, one where matters exclusively in the purview of the centre, one concurrent, and third is exclusively in the purview of the state. And foreign policy is exclusively in the purview of the centre, and the centre has to look at the overall national interests. Now, this is the second thing, is that the Tamil aspirations of the people in Sri Lanka is now being represented by elected representative. Recently in the Jaffna Peninsula area, where the maximum LTT presence was there was an election for the Chief Minister. The Chief Minister got elected, a former judge of the Supreme Court, Mr. Vigneswaran, and he has very clearly said, requested the people of Tamil Nadu to stay out of Sri Lankan affairs because it only complicates matters for them. The issue is that if the Prime Minister goes to the Chogam, he can raise issues regarding more autonomy rights for the Tamils. He can raise issues of fishermen being released who have been coming from Tamil Nadu and getting caught. Okay. These are some of the things which has to be done. But and how can the state decide national interests? It's always the national interest overrides even state interests. Before I take that to D. Raja, Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, let me reverse the question to you and ask you in a different way. You are from a party and you're an individual who has always argued that it cannot be business as usual with Pakistan. There are Tamilians who will argue that given the history of the human rights violations at the hands of the Lankan forces against the Tamilians, why should it be business as usual with Sri Lanka? So it's the same argument you raise with Pakistan that the Tamilians are raising with Sri Lanka. What would you say to that? While the Pakistanis are invading Indian territory, the Sri Lankans are not invading Indian territory. They have an internal problem. It happens to be that both Sinhalese and the Tamils both came from India. The Sinhalese came from Orissa and Bihar, and the Tamils came from Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So consequently, how can we compare the two situations? D. Raja, I think that's an excellent point, that today when the Tamil Nadu Assembly actually says that Sri Lanka should not even be considered a friendly country, we can't actually draw these analogies as we sometimes do in this argument with Pakistan, because Sri Lanka is not perpetrating atrocities against the Indian people. It is not violating our territory. It is not going against our people. The Sri Lankans would argue that there has also not been violence or hostilities for the last 4 years. So why this Assembly resolution by the Tamil Nadu today?
Exactly, this is the point. Pakistan is a different case. Pakistan was part of United India once upon a time. we have historic problems with Pakistan. It is a specific case, it is a different case. But in case of Sri Lanka, we should be very clear. We are talking about Indian foreign policy. It is not an abstract policy and built in an abstract situation.
Yes.
Foreign policy is evolved on the basis of a national consensus.
But
it
there
is
isn't
not
a
a
national
policy
consensus.
evolved
This is
by
the Tamil Nadu consensus, Mr. Raja. This is the Tamil Nadu consensus,
let
not a
me
national
come to the
consensus.
point. Let me come to the point. That's what I'm saying. Let me come to the point. This is not a policy evolved by one single party. All parties have contribution in evolving the national policy. All provinces have contribution in evolving the national policy, whether it is foreign policy or any others. And Tamil Nadu has a contribution in evolving the foreign policy of this India. And as though Mr. Swami thinks Tamil Nadu is something different, it has no role in evolving the foreign policy of this country.